Hello, everyone from the swamps. From the farms of Delaware. I'm still getting used to the new intro. No, I'm no longer in the swamps of New Jersey. It is the Talking Yu-Gi-Oh show. I would love to kind of talk about a couple of things here. And the first thing that I want to talk about is regarding Yu-Gi-Oh 5Ds. Yu-Gi-Oh 5Ds, maybe some of you guys missed it, maybe some of you guys have heard about it, but they have been re-showing Yu-Gi-Oh 5Ds over on the Yu-Gi-Oh anime channel, which is region locked to Japan, and I just had to incorporate this into my opening thoughts here tonight because the numbers coming from these streams are absolutely jaw-dropping, in my opinion. If you don't know, they'll stream like 10 or 11 episodes. People will watch it, and then they'll upload those episodes onto a region-locked channel that is only viewable in Japan. And we're going to go over just kind of the numbers that they're getting and some things that Yusei's voice actor said, and just my overall thoughts on what's been an incredible number performance over there on the YouTube channel. And I want to start with something that, of course, is a little relevant to compare it to, right? We have the Chronicles, which is a new mini-series that's going on right now over in Japan. This is like the only Yu-Gi-Oh anime that we're getting. You go from 80 minutes a month to 5 minutes a month, which has been pretty rough. And the Sky Striker episode got 677,317, and then the first Albaz got 522. I actually thought the Albaz episode was going to beat that first Sky Striker episode, but now I heavily doubt it because it certainly slowed down quite a bit. Well, again, this is all new content. This is the card lore. This is what some people have clamored for a very long time. Comparatively, how do you guys think it's doing to the 5Ds episodes that are on a region-locked YouTube channel? Well, they just aired the final 11 episodes in a stream and uploaded it to YouTube. And in 2 days, those episodes received 728,000 views. At one point during this live stream, there were 60,000 people watching. 60,000 people watching Yusei take on Zone, beat the Time Lords. It's just unbelievable the amount of viewership it got. And you might say, oh, well, Dylan, that's not a fair comparison. That's the final episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh 5Ds. Of course it's going to get a lot of views. Well, let's take a look at the 10 before it. 800,000 views in 9 days. The numbers that we are getting here tell me a few things. The number one thing is there is still a massive love and, most importantly, a massive audience when it comes to these older Yu-Gi-Oh shows. I truly believe this. If they did a Yu-Gi-Oh series that was like a sequel to any of the first 4 shows, Duel Monsters through Zexal, I think it would have an insane amount of viewership behind it, an insane amount of hype, and these numbers tell the story. I mean, these are old 5Ds episodes on a region lock channel, and they are beating out steadily new content that we are getting in the Chronicles. And Konami doing a great thing here, right? Uploading videos, uploading episodes, and it's like, all right, it sinks that it's region locked for Japan, but whatever. And then I went to go back, and this is where, man, Konami just sometimes really makes me scratch my head and ask why. I get why the region lock exists. I don't love it, but I get it, right? It probably has to do with licensing or distribution. But I went to look back other viewership counts, and you can see right below me, 10 of these 13 streamed batches, they have now made private. And they are slowly removing these videos from their YouTube channel. I thought the whole point of this YouTube channel was to catalog these old Yu-Gi-Oh episodes. Like, sure, it's region locked, that sucks. But what's even the point? They promoted this channel as, oh, this is the channel. This is the channel where we're going to put our catalog of Yu-Gi-Oh anime episodes. And now they're already starting to block people, even people that live in Japan, from watching the old streams. And so unfortunately, I don't have the data here in front of me, but I saw it with my own eyes. I just didn't screenshot it. The Crashtown portion of this watch along got over 1 million views in 8 days. 1 million views in 8 days for Crashtown. Heck, the finale may very well get there. It's already at 728,000. But like Konami does a really cool thing here for its Japan audience, right? And then all of a sudden they're starting to kind of go back on their announcement by blocking videos, which is just silly, and that kind of sums it up with Konami. But anyway, to get back to the main point, really, really incredible stuff with the viewership. And you ask, well, I mean, how do the people that were part of 5Ds still feel? This is Yusei's voice actor. Now it's Google Translate, but this is what he tweeted right after 60,000 people tuned in to watch the character that he voiced a decade and a half ago take down Zone and conclude his show. Oh, I cried. To everyone who watched it live, to everyone who loves Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, thank you so much. I bet some of you who watched this broadcast may have retired from Yu-Gi-Oh! If you still have cards tuckered away in a drawer at home, take them out and play with them once in a while. There's no such thing as an unnecessary card in this world. And please keep supporting 5Ds from now on. Can we all agree that the top anime of 2025 is Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds? You can watch it until July 14th, so make sure you're satisfied. It's a beautiful message. You think if they asked him, hey, we're making a show that's going to incorporate Yusei, whether it's a Duel Links anime or a sequel to 5Ds, you think he's turning that down? I've said it many times, man. There is an incredible amount of love and passion that the people who worked on Yu-Gi-Oh! On the Japanese side and on the English side still have for this franchise. I mean, this was a role that he had that ended over a decade ago, and he's still getting emotional watching it back. Some of these voice actors view their role in Yu-Gi-Oh! As some of the best roles they've ever had in their entire franchise. Mai Valentine, her actress over in Japan, she talks about Yu-Gi-Oh! All the time. She plays the game, I believe. So all this to say that there is still an incredible amount of passion for these older shows. And who knows? Maybe Konami sees these turnouts and says, maybe we need to make some new content and tap into that a little bit. And speaking of kind of being in the position that we're in right now, we actually have some breaking news for you guys. A little longer than I remembered there, but we got some breaking news over the week. Some big news. Yu-Gi-Oh! Producer ADK, the parent company to a company that I love, Nihon Ad Systems, to be acquired by Korean game publisher Krafton. Now, breaking news in terms of, I haven't covered it yet because this happened about 6 days ago. And what does it mean? Well, let's get into it. Japanese advertising and animation group ADK announced on Tuesday that it will be acquired by South Korean video game giant Krafton. Krafton, responsible for PUBG. That's probably the game that most of you have heard that they have done. In a deal worth about $518 million US. Krafton will take over ADK's largest shareholder, BCG31 Incorporated, a fund affiliated with U.S. investment firm Bain Capital, blah, blah, blah. Oh, that's not the right thing. Here we go. ADK is a member of a consortium that owns the rights to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Property. It is the parent company of Nihon Ad Systems, a producer of every Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime series and movie since Duel Monsters. In a statement, Krafton CEO said ADK is a trusted partner with deep insights into Japan's content industry, offering exceptional expertise and execution capabilities across animation planning and production, and a bunch of, business mumbo jumbo that I'm not going to bother you guys with. But this is a big deal. This is a big deal. And, I don't really know what this means for the future, but I do believe that this is another notch on the belt of where we are as Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime fans, right? You got to get dressed every morning. You put on your pants, you grab a belt from on top of the door, wherever you keep your belt, and you look at the belt and it reads, "No more Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime." You say, how am I wearing this? Why am I, how did we get here? And I said a few weeks ago, I think Takahashi's passing is a big reason. And I still do believe that is the main reason. But I look at this article and I look at this news. I looked it up, and major acquisitions when it comes to business take anywhere from 6 to 18 months. This is something that, in my opinion, I don't know this for a fact, has probably been going on for at least a year. This is a $500 million acquisition. You think this started last month? There's no way. Not an acquisition of that size. Think about how big $1 million is, right? You want to hit $1 million. $1 million, crazy amount of money. Some people will never have $1 million. It's hard to reach. It's a crazy amount of money. It's a Hollywood benchmark that, society has propped up. 1 billion is 1,000 millions. Think about that. 1 billion, 1,000 millions. I'm just trying to put it into perspective how big of a deal this is. 518 million, $500 million. And so I believe this has been going on quite possibly since the end of 2023. And sometimes when you have big deals like this happening, you have to kind of stop doing what you're doing to see what's going to happen. My dad, a great story he had for me. My dad used to be like a computer technician consultant in New York City in the late 90s. He'd go in, he'd build the computer infrastructures for companies, and he was a contract worker and did that. And he was working on, a company's infrastructure, and they heard, we might be getting bought out. We have to stop everything that we're doing. We have to stop everything. And he played Doom with his buddies at work. He got paid for 3 months to do that while the buyout was happening. So sometimes you just have to freeze whatever's going on as soon as the rumor starts that, hey, we're getting bought out. Hey, we're being acquired. And I say it a lot. Sometimes there's multiple things that go into a decision. I think the Takahashi passing was a big one. I would bet a lot of money that ADK, NAS, and other companies that were maybe under ADK had to pause what they were doing to some degree while this deal was being figured out. That's just business. That's just business practice. And sometimes there's multiple reasons for a big decision, right? Your partner gets offered a $300,000 job, but it's 5 hours away. And you say, well, we're going to be away from family. We're going to be away from friends. The cost of living in that city is much more expensive than where we are here. The job isn't really something I want to do. Yeah, all these negatives are telling me, let's not take it. It's not the right call for us. It doesn't just have to be one reason. And this, to me, is another notch on that belt of why we are here as Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime fans without a Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime going on. So what does it mean for the future? Well, now that the deal is announced, there's still some things that need to happen. It still could take a few more months. But now that there's some things that, need to be worked out, who knows what happens? Who knows what happens next when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh!, when it comes to the anime, and what Krafton is going to want to do with it. In another statement I read, Krafton said, we're going to kind of leave it alone. We're going to kind of leave it alone. We don't really want to, get too involved with ADK and NAS, but NAS is doing something that they've never done before, and that's not be a part of a Yu-Gi-Oh! Production. There's a lot of things that need to go on. Konami needs to be involved, Shueisha. There's so many companies, and there's a lot of pegs that need to fall in the right places. And yeah, I think this is just another reason as to why we do not have Yu-Gi-Oh! 9. Nick T, I'm going to start with you. I mean, I don't know which of those... We talked about a couple of different things. I don't know which of those two you kind of want to give your thoughts on here, but you can kind of pick. It's kind of dealer's choice. And I don't know, what do you think of my thoughts and just the news here coming out of Japan in regards to the massive viewership of 5Ds and the buyout here of ADK?
Maybe this is why there was a bit of a pause, a production pause for Yu-Gi-Oh! 9. So I think it is interesting. I do think your thoughts on the timeline, the amount of time it requires for an acquisition to happen does lend credence to maybe there was a stop production and that's why we don't have anything or news of anything.
Right. And that's why all we've been getting are these vague messages, because maybe they're, you know, you want to be optimistic, right? Maybe there are genuine plans of like, hey, we know we want to do some more stuff when it comes to the card game anime. It's just we're frozen right now because of this business deal going on. I mean, that very well could be a real possibility. No,
I actually really do agree with you on that. I think we just have to keep our eyes peeled, because it could mean something. It could mean it, just like we're in a very weird place with Yu-Gi-Oh right now, where everything could mean something or mean nothing.
Correct. Dredge, gonna bring you in. I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday night. I don't know if you want to touch more on the Krafton stuff, or if you want to talk about 5Ds at all.
We'll talk about 5Ds. I mean, Nick T kind of hit the nail on the head with the Krafton thing. When there's a takeover of any kind, there's going to be some time, so it is possible it's contributing to the lack of Yu-Gi-Oh! I wouldn't put all those eggs in one basket, though, for sure. There's a lot of things going on with Kazuki Takahashi. You just can't pinpoint on that. Now, again, when you have nothing to watch, you are going to speculate, and that's why we have videos like this, which are awesome and fun for us to do. But talking about 5Ds, I'm a big fan of 5Ds. It's in my top 3 anime, Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime, even in my top 10 of overall anime. So, as somebody who watches decent anime, I can understand, wanting to rehash the past. We've talked about this. I don't know that we want. I don't think they want to go back and do that. Unfortunately, I wish they did. I wish we were going to get another like Bonds Beyond Time 2, with Yusei, with Yugi, or Jaden, or Jaden Yuki, something like that. But I just don't think we're going to get that. However, the success does show that the older, and we've said this, Dylan, a lot of times the Rush Yu-Gi-Oh, the new Rush Yu-Gi-Oh is definitely not as popular as the original stuff, which is it's just the way it is, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's just a true statement. It's not insulting the integrity of those franchises. Right.
Agreed. I'm not saying like that. It's just because of the originals, 5Ds or DM, GX. Some people would say that Yu-Gi-Oh ended after DM, but hey, those people are interesting.
Interesting.
But interesting in a way. But yeah, the success of 5Ds is exciting, and it's something that I think you'll see. With all the Yu-Gi-Ohs from Yu-Gi-Oh, DM, GX, maybe not so much, but 5D, even if you put out, Zexal, they start re-showing those. I mean, that's what people really love. So it'd be nice to see the same, love and respect put on the Rush shows, but I'm not sure that we'll see that. But definitely excited for the 5Ds, doing so well, and hopefully they continue to do that. Keep putting on. Maybe they decide, we shouldn't private this, and we can leave it for everyone to watch. But unfortunately, we won't know until we get further along with that.
You just watched one of the clips from my Talking Yu-Gi-Oh! Show, which airs every other Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you guys so much for your support. Please leave all your thoughts down below. Long live Yu-Gi-Oh! And I hope you have an amazing day. Take care, guys.